Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the PLA podcast. I have an incredible guest here, one of our core leaders in the PLA community, Ravi. Welcome to the PLA podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Dania. Thank you for having me on your podcast. I have been looking to participate for a long time, and finally, it's a time now.
The time is now, as we say.
Yeah,
I would love to formally introduce you to our audience because they haven't had the privilege that we've had at PLA of getting to know you and your story. So I want to run through. Today, we're joined by Ravi Kavutarapu, a lifelong learner whose story beautifully blends resilience, gratitude, and purpose. Born and raised in a small village in South India, Ravi grew up with strong family values, his father as a teacher and his mother as a homemaker, and he excelled through his early education in Telugu medium schools. After earning a degree in civil engineering, he set his sight on becoming a public servant, but when life took a different turn, he embraced the emerging world of technology. In 1997, he began his career in Hyderabad's iconic high tech city during the mainframe boom, a move that set the stage for over 2 decades of growth in the IT industry. Since then, he's built a remarkable career in HTC Global Services, where he worked for more than 20 years, leading with dedication and integrity. Now based in Troy, Michigan, Ravi and his wife Sudha take pride in their daughter, Shreya, who studies supply chain management at Michigan State University. Outside of work, Ravi is passionate about Telugu theater, storytelling, yoga, hiking, and volunteering, always finding joy in creativity and community. He deeply believes that mentors and coaches play a vital role in helping us grow into our fullest potential. And of course, has worked his master's over the last few years at Illinois State University up until 2009 in project and quality management. Ravi, welcome to the PLA podcast. After running through your immense bio, it's such a treat to have you on here.
Oh, thank you, Dania, for the detailed biography. You now I can recollect all my childhood to today.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's such a treat. And Ravi, I would love for you to take us back to the very beginning of your story, place us back in time, and just tell us a little bit where it all started.
Sure. Yeah, actually, I am really fortunate, to live in the village. As Mahatma Gandhi mentioned, villages are heart and soul of India, and the people are very pure. The environment is very pure. I grew up in that environment, and the gratitude I took from that, village people. So I always grateful for the people who helped me and my family. It's my responsibility to express my gratitude to them. So that is one of my quality that I developed from that village people.
That's incredible. And I think that those qualities and values that come from our childhood that still have such a role to play as our career grows, as we grow as individuals and people, is so powerful because it goes to show strong roots and strong values that continue to guide us along our way.
Yeah, and also being a teacher's son, I always feel proud because the teaching profession is one of the great profession, and they are the national nation builders, right?
Mm.
So that's why for every Teachers' Day on September 5th, I wish all my gurus, including my dad, for the Teachers' Day celebrations.
That's incredible. And you're so right. They are the builders of the future. They are building the next generation and guiding them. And they, the future decision makers, the future politicians, bankers, lawyers, artists, creators. It's a gift really to have teachers in this world.
Yeah, exactly. I still remember, my parents taught me one thing: help ever, hurt never. So that is the philosophy I always follow.
I love this. I love it. And Ravi, I'd be curious to know, so oftentimes we can have this wisdom looking back and we can, really look back on these years with so much gratitude. And yet when we're in them, sometimes we don't know the beauty of what we have truly and what we're being given. I'd love to know if someone had given you one piece of advice at the very beginning of your career, knowing everything that you know now, what do you wish it had been?
One thing is about focusing on the health. Okay, So until I come to my engineering, I did not pay much attention on the um, workouts like exercising or yoga or anything.
Wow.
I wish I could have known about yoga when I was in seventh grade or eighth grade. One advice I can give it to the younger generation: be selfish for at least 1 hour for your health. Okay, do whatever you want to do on Mondays. Just go walk on Fridays. Be selfish. Okay, that's your time. You need to manage it.
Beautiful. And you're so right. There's so much value when we pour into our own cup for at least an hour a day, and then we can give from the overflow of that cup. We have far more energy, far more clarity, far more resilience to be able to then take on the rest of our demands and deeds, whether it's at work, in our professional life, or at home where our family truly needs us.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and
Amazing.
also you focus on the things whatever you wanted to achieve, and don't look for shiny objects, right? Most of the times we start one goal, and if another friend is working on another goal, we'll immediately shift to that one, right? Don't fall for shiny objects. That is another advice I want. That's what I learned, and I wanted to give the same thing to others.
I think there's a lot of powerful insight in that, especially when we're young, especially young in our careers and slightly naive and not to any detriment, but or just saying that it takes a little bit of wisdom before getting out of that phase. Yet now we're seeing it prolonged over time because of we're in the time of distraction more than ever, where our focus is being pulled in every single direction. And so, this shiny object syndrome, we tend to fall for it with more ease than past generations may have fallen for in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ravi, I know we oftentimes talk about our great successes and the things that we are grateful for along our journey. And we oftentimes negate or overlook the major challenges that we've had to move through to become who we are today. I'd love to know, what were the greatest challenges of your own career throughout that time?
Oh, there are so many challenges. I was one of the top performers until my high school education because I studied in Telugu medium. As soon as I moved into college, I need to study in English medium. Initially, I struggled a lot, to understand, and then communication is another bigger problem when I started my job. So for everybody, the communication is very important to grow. I feel the communication is not like talking posh English or anything. I feel the communication is if we talk, other people are able to understand it. That's what I feel.
Wow.
And several time. And another thing is I worked in different roles, different challenges, and I was able to overcome with the help of my mentors, coaches, and the team. Okay, so I always believe teamwork is the dream work.
Mm, absolutely. I think you bring up an important point. Oftentimes we think of communication as speaking great English, but really communication is getting to know what one another are saying with so much more ease and so much more grace. I think there's a huge value in that. And there's so much importance that we forget. We think it's just the words we use, but it's really taking the time to understand one another, which is essential to success in business, in our corporate careers, etc., especially when we're working with teams. And today, more than ever, we're working with teams across nations, globally, and that's necessary, really.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know, Ravi, we're in the age of technology, and more than ever, we're seeing this massive change with AI being used on a global scale, whether it's in our homes now or at the office. I'd love to get your take on AI.
Sure, being knowingly or unknowingly, we're already using AI, right? I have been using Alexa for 5 6 years, and similarly, whatever the shopping we browse on the internet, it's always suggest, okay, are you looking for this product, right? Because all are inbuilt LLMs, right? And AI is definitely helpful for productivity improvement, but along with human judgment, that is a very key critical factor, right? Human judgment is ultimately overrides AI. And recently, we might have seen in the news that one of the tier one consulting company paid millions of dollars to the Australia, yeah, because of they messed up one project. I don't want to give the names here, but that's what we read in the news, right?
Mhm.
So it's like an atomic energy. Whether you use it, in a proper way to come up and produce with electricity, or to destroy the countries. So similarly, AI also, we have to use judiciously, and get benefit out of it. So definitely, I feel it is a good for the human being, but they always use the human judgment on top of it.
Absolutely. There's a lot there. I think that you're right. It's such a powerful tool that we've come across, and we haven't understood the extent of that power yet. So being very cautious and intentional with what we are using it for is going to be very important in the coming years until we get a better grasp of where this is going really.
It is we There is no limitation now, Dunya. Every day the technology is enhancing, and there is a lot of new innovations are coming up. I will definitely feel that this AI will continue to evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I,
we don't know where it will go, where it will end. I feel it's an infinite
mm,
journey.
you're right. That it's so true, and that can be at times scary and overwhelming, but it can also be exciting because the possibilities are truly endless.
Correct. Yeah.
Ravi, I know you're such, and this is a side question, but I know you're such a family man and you've been so committed. Even both you and your wife have been in, even in PLA, dedicated to your growth. You are such an example of a couple that continues to lock arms and cheer each other on and encourage each other to grow. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, in 2023, September 16th, I still remember the date that, I saw one LinkedIn posting from by Venkat. Okay, if you want to make your 2024 as a memorable, come and join with us. I did not know what it is, and I wanted to explore it. And I registered for it. Until then, I did not know Venkat. I know Venkat's wife and his son, because he is a classmate to my daughter, and Venkat wife used to come to the school events. So I know her, but I did not know about Venkat. But he is very well known in the community as a Java Venkat. He taught so many thousands of people in the Java and other technologies. So that was the good decision I have taken. And the first time I left my phone for 10 hours, and my wife and daughter were worrying what happened to me, and I'm not answering my phones. And it was a very very intense session, and I went to the session by after emptying my cup, and I attended as if I don't know anything. That is the first time. And always the PLA sessions are in-person sessions are very great, and it's a different unique thing. And whenever I go, I empty my cup and I try to listen more and participate. But still it's a ocean, and there is a lot to learn from each and every coaches.
Absolutely. Ravi, you bring such an important point that we oftentimes don't talk about in personal development. So many of us have, you know, been interested in personal development over years, read so many books, been to so many trainings, had so many coaches, but we forget to empty our cup before we show up.
Correct.
And I love that you bring this because it allows you to receive information from a completely different perspective and be much more susceptible to learning and having a breakthrough or insight than if you bring all that experience, all that knowledge, and everything that you've previously been exposed to the table when you're coming across something so new like this.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I believe listening is an amazing art. Okay, it is like other forms like classical dance or music or singing, right? Any arts, if you have to excel, you have to practice it. So I have been practicing since 2023. Maybe I'm like at 30%, 40% listening, to my listening on my listening skills. So I need to improve more on that one. That is one target. It's lifelong learning or practicing target for me.
Absolutely. You're right. It is such a skill and such an art form, and very few people have mastered it, to be honest.
Yeah,
And I agree with you. It's a never-ending process of becoming a great listener.
yeah,
And I think we would live in a very different world if it was taught in school how to truly listen to one another from an early age.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's amazing. Ravi, I'm curious to know, what has been your biggest insight since joining PLA?
Initially I did not have any expectations. I joined after seeing that, but my goal is I wanted to influence my family members.
Mm,
That was the goal. I joined the PLA. PLA is definitely helpful for the entire family. So I Visuda got inspired by me after 6 months, and she also able to join it. And now Shreya, she's in the college. We don't have any youth PLA program. Otherwise, she would have joined. There are a lot of things developed during the part of this curriculum, and it's a very good family, and people are at the same wavelength, and that is one reason I don't miss to meet any of our PLA members wherever I go. So that is the bond between each and every one of us in the PLA family.
yeah. You're right. It's so rare to have a community of so many members that are like-minded and that are so committed to growth. And I think that that community has been fostered over so much intention and so much attention and commitment to fostering those relationships and those connections in this community. It's been beautiful to witness and watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing. And Ravi, my favorite question of asking on the PLA podcast, and I may have ask a bunch more after, but my favorite one really is about legacy and impact. What is the legacy and impact you are excited to leave behind in this life?
I want to help the younger generation to ensure that they have a good values. The first thing is they need to know what is right or wrong before they take any decision. Okay, so that is one thing I wanted to um, communicate to them, and wherever possible, without unconditional help, I wanted to do that. I have been doing this for several years, but I wanted to do the same, continue the same thing. Yeah.
That's
And my dad
beautiful.
used to,
Yeah.
yeah, my dad used to tell one thing, right? If you help somebody, don't expect anything. The God will help you through some other person which you don't know.
Wow.
And similar thing happened to me, when I was, looking for job at one point of time. I don't know that person, but he helped me to, get into the job.
That is so beautiful. I love this piece of wanting to help the next generation decipher what between right and wrong decisions while just being a great guide. And in that process, by helping these people, life always rewards us in a way we never expected or saw coming. And there's this beautiful co creative relationship that happens with us in life when we're willing to output for the good, for the greater good, and with a giving heart without expectations. And so many times we are blessed in so many ways we could have never seen coming. Absolutely. I'm excited to know, Ravi, what is the most exciting things you're working on these days?
These days, I'm also trying to cope up with what is happening in the AI world. That is, one thing I am also, because without that, without knowing to use AI, we will be obsolete, right? So, what I wanted to say is, AI will not replace the jobs, but it will replace the people who don't know to use the AI.
Yeah.
So that is one thing, and I already formed some good habits, like reading the books and hiking and other things. I wanted to continue the same thing, and I would like to continue my passion of stage arts in Telugu. So the dream is to perform one day in New York Broadway theaters. So I'm a part of very good group of people. So that is the dream.
Wow, Ravi, what a beautiful dream. And you know what I love about PLA is we don't know any of this. And then on the PLA podcast, we discover these beautiful facts and these tidbits of all of your lives. So thank you. That's such a touching share. And I can just imagine it. And I'm rooting for you, truly. I'd be curious to know if there was one piece of advice that you'd have for anyone going through a challenging time in their career, because we're seeing so much change right now in the industries, and a lot of people are quite nervous. They're, pulled to spaces of insecurity and of worry. What would you share with them?
The first thing is believing in yourself, right? Many of us having imposter syndrome. Okay, can I do that? Am I the right person? That one. with dedicated committed efforts, definitely we can achieve it. Okay, so don't never ever scare about that, and be calm. If needed, try to practice meditation to reduce your stress levels, which I have been doing it. So believe in yourself, put your wholehearted efforts. That's what I wanted to say.
I love that. I love that you started with believing with yourself and then finished with the effort. Because if you don't believe and you are trying to match it with effort, you will get exhausted in that process. But if you have the belief, it will pull the effort right out of you and give you a lot more momentum to bring it to life.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. And Ravi, of course, I have to ask you about your journey with PLA. How has your journey with PLA been? And we've touched on it a little bit throughout the podcast, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about it.
Yeah, it's an amazing journey. Like I said, it will be a lifelong journey. We need to upgrade ourselves, and we also, it's like for a software update, right? We do some patchings. This version is coming up, you can install it, update it. Similarly, the EV cars, we are seeing that, right? So for us also, we need frequent boosters, right? So to do that, definitely this is the great place to be part of it, and we are all behaving like a family members and sharing each other, and this is the trusted place where we can share whatever we wanted to share, which we can't share outside world,
Yeah.
right? So
You're right. It has been a beautiful place to foster so much safety to be able to share authentically and be
yeah,
able to support one another and share resources, share ideas, share momentum, and a lot of inspiration and like a lot of accountability too to take those
yeah,
actions necessary to create the
yeah,
transformation.
yeah,
I'd love for our audience that is curious about PLA, if anyone watching is like, I would wonder where I can get a little bit more information about PLA. With this QR code, you will find out when the next free training for PLA is. So many of us have attended this free training multiple times over and have gotten so much value out of just attending this training. Even if you were to never hear about PLA ever again, I think you'd be pretty blown away by what happens in this kind of space. So I'll just put the QR code here for just a moment in case you are curious and there's something that comes up. Feel free to grab your phone. And Ravi, I wanted to thank you for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on at the PLA podcast and answering these questions and getting some insights into your life and journey. It's been a true treat, truly.
yeah. Thank you, Dinia. Thank you.
It's been an absolute blessing to have you on. And I just want to thank everyone that was listening to the PLA podcast. Thank you for your time. Thank you for spending another incredible episode with us and looking forward to having you on again, Ravi, to the PLA podcast. Would love to have you as a guest again. And thank you everyone for watching and listening as always.
Yeah, thank you, Dinia. Yeah, it was nice to see you and participate in your podcast.
A true treat as always. And we'll catch you all for the next episode.
Thank you.